won that fight. It was Manny Pacquiao. I won. Yes, I did. Clearly. Was there any room for discussion? Clear to me. Clear to me. Have you ever wondered what happens when a legend steps into the ring against him? Underdog? Could an aging hero still spark fireworks tonight? It's clear to me. Clear to me. I'm not a judge, but it's clear to me and clear to my eyes. And it's a shame. It's a shame for boxing. The arena lights blaze down as Manny Pacquiao and Barrios touch gloves again. The crowd roaring. A mixture of nostalgia and expectation. Every fan leans forward, craving that spark of brilliance only Pac-Man can ignite. Judges Steve Weissel and Tim Chino ring up identical scorecards at 114 to 114, handing the bout a majority draw. The champion walks away with his belt still strapped tight, his legacy intact yet stirring debate. As the dust settles, voices erupt across social media, each reacting with equal parts awe and outrage. Two judges who, can't decide who the winner is. Really? So yeah. Shakur Stevenson jumps on Twitter, claiming the Filipino icon dominated every round in his eyes and teasing that Floyd Mayweather might soon reclaim the world title. His words cut through the chatter like a straight right hand, daring anyone to argue. Ray Jackson refuses to be quiet, insisting this version of Pacquiao, even in his 40s, would have flattened Dion Haney without breaking a sweat. Danny Garcia fires off a quick post, bluntly stating Manny won the fight outright. George Kambosos Jr. chimes in next, imploring the crowd to turn back the clock and admire a champion reborn. So yeah, Barrios the champion. I guess you have to beat the champion. And I guess in their eyes, they didn't clear. Kambosos doubles down, marveling at how Pacquiao looks 26 again, not 46, and chanting the fighter's name with fervor. Clarissa Shield bursts onto the scene with Street Fighter praise, painting Pacquiao as a warrior stepping out of a retro arcade to crush his opponent. She imagines him squaring up like he's in a pixelated brawl, ready to whoop Mario's little cousin. Sean Porter critiques Barrios' game plan, noting he never let his hands go and called out his lack of aggression. Porter slams the promise of testing Pacquiao's conditioning when Barrios did nothing to push the pace. To me was an astounding, amazing, outstanding performance by a 46-year-old man who has not. Porter's follow-up tweet smacks of frustration. He saw the writing on the wall, but dreaded the result anyway. Stevenson returns, branding the decision crazy and fanning flames under heated fans. A regular boxing fan, Ryan Alba, pounds out a message praising Prime Pacquiao as a demolisher of opponents, declaring the margin so wide it wouldn't have been close. Other voices rise, lamenting how many times robbed ringside, insisting no boxer has suffered injustice like Pacquiao. The verdict? Boxing feels rigged, they say. Rigged against the people's champion. 46 white old man who has not fought in 4 years, who had the stamina, the wherewithal, the guts, the determination. Backstage, promoters and trainers debate over water bottles and ice packs. They lament close calls, questioning why sweat and heart can't translate into clear wins. Analysts note the subtle shifts in Pacquiao's style, the ebb and flow of offense that still captivates. Barrios' corner argues their man held his own, surviving on defense and counter punches. Neither side will budge. The draw cements a controversy that won't fade by morning. Fans pour into social feeds, polls popping up in every direction. Was it a win or a draw? They click, they argue, they use memes. The pop of excitement reaches beyond the ring, tapping into debates on legacy versus youth. Everyone wants to weigh in. The casual viewer who tuned in to see Pacquiao's highlight reel, their energy reminds the world why boxing thrives on heated debate. This is one of the all-time great performances, so it's worthy of the Hall of Excellence, Jim. Absolutely. Should he retire? Meanwhile, the Champions Camp celebrates in private. relieve the belt stays home. They recount the knockdowns and combos that thrilled 7 million worldwide. They know the numbers on the judges' cards matter less than the spectacle they delivered. Pacquiao, ever the showman, smiles knowing he carried the night. Back in the locker room, he flashes that trademark grin, sponge in hand, soaking up victory as if it were life itself. Outside the arena, street corners buzz with conversation. Taxis blare horns. Bars raise glasses in toasts of admiration for the Filipino star. Vendors switch their TV feeds to replay every round in slow motion, each jab and uppercut dissected in real time. The city pulses with renewed energy, heartbeats sinking to Pacquiao's footwork in every home, coffee shop, and corner store. Opinions sparkle brighter than neon lights. Tire on this one, Jim. I don't make decisions for people on what they should do. That's just the Manny Pacquiao. He deserves what he wants to do on his time frame. And tonight, scouts and trainers study the fight tape, noting Barrios' defensive lapses and Pacquiao's timing refinements. They file notes on fighters everywhere, chasing the secrets of a man who defies age. Young prospects whisper dreams of facing him someday, though they know, even in a draw, he remains a benchmark. Legends are rare. Rare are those who can still force the world to watch. Media outlets scramble to capture every angle. The triumphant fist pumps, the weary but proud walk back to the locker room. Interviews teeter between amusement and shot and free as analysts question what comes next. Pacquiao's next opponent is already a trending topic before the ink dries on today's headlines. Yet amid it all, the draw cements his reputation as a fighter beyond measure to do on his time frame. And tonight he proved that he can continue to do it on his time frame. And lastly, Jim, some people on social media, though when you ask Sue about exactly what happened, I think it was a very appropriate question. But what do you think to conversations turn philosophical as fans debate the nature of greatness? Does a draw tarnish a hero or strengthen his myth? Can a split decision capture the pure spirit of the sweet science? Enthusiasts quote boxing lore comparing December's past to this July night. Pages of history flicker under the floodlights, each name alongside Pacquiao's glowing legacy. On social media, a clip of Pacquiao slipping a jab for 7 rounds loops endlessly. Reactions range from chants of "GOAT" to exasperated cries that judges got it wrong. Algorithms push the video into timelines, making the night immortal. Even non-boxing fans start asking questions, curious about the man who still moves like lightning. Anytime, bro. Who do you think won tonight? Come again. Who do you think won tonight? Pacquiao, man. Deep in a gym across town, an amateur trainee watches the highlights, sweat dripping from his brow. He drops his gloves, stares at the screen, then swings at air, emulating the champ's muscle memory. A coach shakes his head, smiles, and says, "Kid, you're seeing history." At dawn, the buzz hasn't died. Opinion pieces to claim a passing of the torch. Rocco never handed it over. Internationals praise the icon's spirit. Purists question if the draw spells decline. Every angle fuels fresh articles, fresh debates. The ring may be empty, but the world is still inside it. Pacquiao steps onto a press conference stage, towel draped over his shoulders, eyes scanning the crowd. He dodges every baited question with grace, thanking fans for their support. He hints at retirement, but flirts with one more dance under the lights. Promoters erupt. The possibility of just one more keeps the money flowing. Huh? Wide, bro. 500. Yet beyond the business, boxing soul churns in every gym and lounge. The fighters training tonight dream of drawing a small crowd craving the same electric rush. They imagine Pacquiao's speed, his heart, his courage. They hope for a sliver of that rare magic. Meanwhile, Barrios retreats to study film, eager for redemption. He admits mistakes in private, vowing to sharpen his offense. His team scribbles new strategies determined to tip the scales. Next time, rising stars take notice. Even a draw with legend demands respect. Merch counters are wiped clean of commemorative shirts celebrating the draw. Hatlines shrink as fans swap. Headgear picturing both men. Trainers forges new game plans. Gym owners chalk up more sparring sessions inspired by the bout. Boxing's heartbeat reverberates through steel bags and leather gloves. Commentators replay the pivotal moments that could have swung around. Each hinge may redefine the result. Fans gather in small groups. Households divided in the aftermath of a decision that refuses. Simplicity over.
The fight.
Tea or whiskey.
Legacy
Debates rage on. Come on. Do you want to see the ticket?
Oh,
you want to see the ticket?
That
Look
halls
at
in
this.
prime time
Let me
slots
see.
and while
Let's
others simply
see.
tally gold.
Where is he at?
The dollar
Come
brainstorm.
on. Where
The
is
event
it?
gimmicks
Back in a
guarantee
city
a
halfway
conclusive,
around the
simple
globe.
athletic
A
contest.
group of fans
More
pays
silver
homage.
belts for knockouts.
Miniature
Case
ringside
study on
lunch.
modern
They
day
rewatch
for unanimous
the fight
decision
round by
economics.
round. Praising
I know he lost the
Pacquiao's
last
speed,
round,
yet
and I,
sympathizer
boxers,
with
think on
Barrios'
all the
written
judges'
face. No
modified
consensus
rules
emerges,
scorecards.
but
That round,
unity and passionate
fewer reference
argument
breaks
is
to force.
victory
I thought
itself.
clarity.
Promoters
So here's
draft
a sports
posters
architect's
for a
aim
potential
whenever the bell
rematch,
turn
betting on
controversy
controversy to
fans
sell
ready
tickets
call the glory,
tenfold.
fairness,
The
concern, and the
prospect
headline
of another
gold.
clash
They'll
between
settle
them
into.
and legend
This race with
tantalizes
memory, a sequel
paper.
might outshine
Fires.
They'll chant.
Money
Original
flows
and
like
drama.
blood from
Raptors.
a
Like I
turned
said,
cheek. Boxing's
believe
life
it can
blood
happen.
as
Rematch
days
is something
pass.
he wants.
Highlight
Like
reels
and
solidify.
comment below.
Pacquiao's
I'm with it.
age-defying feats.
Conversation.
He weaves
No,
through punches like
I still
time
think this
rewinding
was
itself.
International
Critics soften,
Boxing Federation
conceding that a draw with
emergency
a younger,
meetings,
hungry fighter
debating tweaks
still
to
cements greatness.
judging
They
criteria
revise
and
their
scoring.
hot takes into grudging
Transparency.
praise. You're going to look.
Proposals
hey,
fly.
why did you think it
Open.
was going to?
Scoring
be a draw?
each round.
What's up?
On-screen
You
punch.
want to know my answer?
Counts.
Yeah.
Even
He'll
live
tell you
fan
what I
voting
tell you.
via apps.
In gyms far and
Purists
wide,
cringe at the
sweat and
idea of
leather
mixing.
echo the fight's rhythms.
Sport
Every
with
training
reality TV,
feels that night
yet
in their
admit that
bones. They
controversy
spar with
bleeds
renewed
viewers.
purpose, inspired
Every
by the idea that
suggestion
even at
draws its
46,
own wave of
one can still
dissent,
chase
turning
victory.
committee rooms
Documentaries begin.
gladiatorial
Production.
arenas of
Historians
opinions.
interview voices
In the-
from the night.
and
They dissect
they settle
training,
on pilot
camps,
programs.
nutrition plans,
Hesitant,
mental
but
preparation.
desperate to quell the
They trace
lure
Pacquiao's
of
path
dissatisfied
from humble
fans.
beginnings to superstar
Meanwhile,
status.
Barrios
Barrios'
retreats to
rise
a
is
fortress
charted
of
too. A
solitude.
fighter who
Hold
refused
up
to
in a
fold
high
under
altitude.
pressure.
Training
Simple
camp.
fans tweet with pride,
crunches
while
tapes of
pundits
his
draw diagrams
own
of
movements,
footwork.
determined
Midnight
to
watch
turn
parties break into
survival into
spontaneous
dominance
chants of
next time.
approval in every
His
time zone.
coaches pushing
Boxing
through
lives
drills
because
that
of contests
replicate
like this.
Pacquiao's footwork,
Meanwhile,
mocking
champions in other
every
divisions
misstep
take
with
note.
relentless
Heavyweights to flyweights
repetition.
study the film.
In this crucible,
seeking lessons,
weaknesses
legends feel
become blueprints for
reinvigorated.
improvement.
Newcomers dream
The
bigger. One
draw
fight
becomes
has ripples
fuel,
across the
igniting
sport.
a burning
I said a Manny don't
desire
lose in
to leave
Vegas.
no doubt
so
in any judges'
have a draw. I
mind.
said the B. I said
This
the
was
casino.
big for boxing,
Don't
none.
want to let Manny.
Yeah, you
By
know,
the end of the
I mean,
month,
I'm
the
still
draw
proud.
still headlines
You know,
sports news
I'm
feeds.
still holding
it
the
transcends
title.
boxing pages and
Photographers
bleeds
around
into
the world line
general
up
news.
to
Even
capture
those
the
indifferent
champions
to
every moment.
jabs or hooks can't ignore
Pacquiao's
the tale
smile,
of
a
an
beacon
ageless warrior. He stands as
invincibility
proof that heart
appears
defies
in
calendars.
newspapers.
This fight
From
becomes
Manila
a
to
chapter in
Montreal.
boxing's great
Paparazzi
storybook.
chase.
Trainers tell
Him
it to
through airport
freshmen.
terminals, hungry
Veterans recall its electric
for candid shots
rounds.
of a living
Bars
legend.
pipe it on loop.
Each photo
Radio
sells
DJs
thousands of copies,
replay blow by blow. It
reinforcing
becomes
his
part
mythic
of
status.
the cultural fabric,
Even in
stitched
a
into the
draw,
tapestry of sport.
Pacquiao remains
and
a global
Pacquiao,
icon.
the man himself,
Proof that charisma
becomes a
trumps
symbol.
clear-cut
Age isn't a
scores.
barrier,
I
but a
don't know,
number to
man.
be challenged.
I
Belief
thought
and
Manny
preparation merge into
That dot I thought
something
Manny
almost
won that
mythical.
fight, brother.
He moves the
Fashion
masses
brands
not just
strike
with
deals
fists,
to outfit
but with inspiration.
both fighters for public
Lose the
appearances.
casino don't want to let Manny
Seizing the narrative to
lose.
merge style.
And I knew it was rare,
With
right?
sport,
Because
runways
Mario
inject
Barrios just
boxing
came
slang
off of a draw.
into collections.
Yet amid all this,
Uppercut,
the
red
call for
jab,
fairness echoes
white,
loud.
cross black.
Judges feel the pressure.
While models
Commissions promise reviews.
Down aisles in
the
gloves
sport
and robes.
vows
The
to learn to tighten
sport enters haute
criteria
couture,
to
dragging the
reduce controversy.
draw into glossy
Even controversy
magazines.
can lead
The
to progress. In
intersection
local
of
gyms,
boxing and
young
fashion
fighters tell their
becomes a
coaches,
runaway
I'll
train,
do better than
unstoppable
both of
and
them. They dream
glittering.
bigger fights,
In academic
stronger
circles,
punches, less
sports
debate.
economists
They chase not just
study the
victory,
financial
but
ripples of a
clarity.
draw.
Promoters water
Market
down
analysts
details
chart
of
pay-per-view.
training camps, Highlight the
spikes,
drama.
merchandise
Embrace
sales,
the spectacle.
local
They
tourism.
know controversy sells
Boost
as
for
well
host
as a
cities.
knockout. The line
They
between
publish
sport and show blurs
papers on ambiguous
beautifully.
outcomes
By the
and
time a rematch
consumer
looms,
behavior.
every ticket sells instantly. Fans clamor for a chance to settle the score. Betting lines shift hourly. Social feeds predict rounds. Boxing becomes a global carnival once more. I said, "Man, I know. I don't know why, but it's right there, baby. It's right there. First ticket. You guys are blocking that we got to move to the right. Legends speak up again." Mayweather teases another comeback. Crawford boasts he'd be the one to dethrone Pacquiao. Even retired fighters lace up gloves in sparring sessions for publicity. The sport buzzes like a hive, and through it all, the memory of that majority draw lives on, not as an injustice, but as a reminder of boxing's unpredictable heart. That night, Pacquiao proved time can be defied. Barrios showed resilience. Together, they crafted a story no punch could finish. A fresh wave of debate crashes over boxing shores as experts dissect the silent seconds after the final bell. Analysts argue over whether that pause before the decision announcement held more drama than the fight itself. Ringside seats become a throne of tension, each fan on the edge of euphoria or despair, chanting pulses in unison, a heartbeat that won't quiet until someone claims victory. Even in stalemate, energy crackles through the arena, proving that controversy fuels the sport as much as knockouts. Wait, how much you want? $100. Easy work. Easy work. I don't know. Maybe. Across the globe, betting halls buzz with frantic tension, odds shifting like desert sands under a scorching sun. Bookmakers scratch their heads at how to price a rematch, balancing fan demand against financial risk. Every coin dropped into a slot echoes questions. Did Pacquiao truly tie, or did Barrios steal a round? Even non-believers peer in, curious about the spectacle of money tied to every jab and hook. The scoreboard might redraw, but wallets feel the sting of uncertainty. Merch counters pivot quickly, selling shirts commemorating the draw of the century, and Pac-Man prevails kind of. Fans buy both versions, refusing to choose sides, and tack the shirts onto walls like war trophies. The clink of transactions matches glove strikes in rhythmic harmony. Vendors high-five over profits, aware that heated arguments make better sales than clean finishes. Boxing becomes its own carnival, complete with souvenirs that mock as much as they celebrate. He still has a lot of crack, you know. For his age, he's still very explosive. He was very tricky and, I just wasn't, trying. In underground gyms, trainers hoist heavy bags in time with the fights. Highlight reel, each strike a sermon. They preach the gospel of footwork, reminding pupils that defense wins. Debates, even when the judges refuse to pick a side. Young hopefuls watch with awe, eyes wide as they map out the angles that turn the tide or tide the score. Sweat pours like rain in a monsoon, urging bodies to remember the night they chased greatness. In these sanctuaries of sweat and echoes, the draw becomes a lesson etched in muscle memory. Late-night talk shows light up with boxing's aftermath, hosts slamming their palms on desks for emphasis. Cameras zoom on vintage clips for comparison, summoning ghosts of great past to lend weight to the argument. Every jab by Ali, every left hook from Sugar Ray, all get dragged into today's debate. It's as if the sport's entire history convened to discuss one 12-round saga. Viewers sip coffee or cocktail, depending on their time zone, ready for rhetorical sparring as intense as the action that inspired it. Trying to make a mistake, by overcommitting on, on a shot that, I wasn't sure. Social media influencers hop on live streams, painting their faces in fighter colors and roaring into phone cameras. They reenact crucial moments, weaving hand gestures like conductors leading an orchestra. Their followers flood comments with emojis and gifts, creating a digital roar that threatens to drown Out the ring announcer's voice. The draw lives on screens, pixelated but pulsing. An electronic heartbeat unafraid of fading. Viral clips spread faster than rumors, forging a modern myth in real time. In boxing podcasts, hosts dissect every nuance, the angles of punch, trajectories, the minute shifts in guard, the split-second decisions to attack or retreat. They cite biomechanics experts, sports psychologists, even nutritionists, building a case as intricate as legal briefs. The draw forces them to mine deeper, to pull back layers until they find something resembling consensus. Yet, consensus remains elusive, as slippery as sweat on canvas. The more they explore, the more treasures and contradictions they unearth. Promoters scribble frantic notes in dimly lit hotel lobbies, envisioning a rematch that hauls in primetime slots and pay-per-view gold. They brainstorm gimmicks to guarantee a conclusive outcome. Silver belts for knockouts, bonus payouts for unanimous decisions, secret mid-fight penalty cards. Boxers might even face modified rules, more rounds, fewer rest breaks to force clarity. The sports architects aim to turn controversy into spectacle, trading fairness concerns for headline gold. At this rate, the sequel might outshine the original in sheer drama. Like I said, if a rematch is something he wants, then I'm with it. I still think this was. International Boxing Federations convene emergency meetings, debating tweaks to judging criteria and scoring. Transparency. Proposals fly open, scoring each round, on-screen punch counts, even live fan voting via apps. Purists cringe at the idea of mixing sport with reality TV, yet admit that controversy bleeds viewers. Every suggestion draws its own wave of dissent, turning committee rooms into gladiatorial arenas of opinions. In the end, they settle on pilot programs, hesitant but desperate to quell the roar of dissatisfied fans. Meanwhile, Barrios retreats to a fortress of solitude, holed up in a high-altitude training camp. He crunches tapes of his own movements, determined to turn survival into dominance next time. His coaches push him through drills that replicate Pacquiao's footwork, mocking every misstep with relentless repetition. In this crucible, weaknesses become blueprints for improvement. The draw becomes fuel, igniting a burning desire to leave no doubt in any judge's mind. This was big for boxing and I'm still proud. I'm still holding the title. Photographers around the world line up to capture the champions every moment. Pacquiao's smile, a beacon of invincibility, appears in newspapers from Manila to Montreal. Paparazzi chase him through airport terminals, hungry for candid shots of a living legend. Each photo sells thousands of copies, reinforcing his mythic status. Even in a draw, Pacquiao remains a global icon, proof that charisma trumps clear-cut scores. I don't know, man. I thought Manny won. I thought Manny won that fight, brother. Fashion brands strike deals to outfit both fighters for public appearances, seizing the narrative to merge style with sport. Runways inject boxing slang into collections. Uppercut red, jab, white, cross black, while models strut down aisles in gloves and robes. The sport enters haute couture, dragging the draw into glossy magazines. The intersection of boxing and fashion becomes a runaway train, unstoppable and glittering. In academic circles, sports economists study the financial ripples of a draw. Market analysts chart pay-per-view spikes, merchandise sales, local tourism, boosts for host cities. They publish papers on ambiguous outcomes and consumer behavior, cementing the fight's legacy in university syllabi. Students debate the morality of profiting from controversy, while others simply tally the dollars. The event transcends a simple athletic contest, morphing into a case study on modern entertainment economics. I know he lost the last round, and I think on all the judges' scorecards, that was the Difference maker, I thought. So here's a promise. Whenever the bell rings next, fans will recall the glory and the controversy. They'll settle into seats with memories fresh. They'll chant names into the rafters, and they'll believe anything can happen. Subscribe, like, and comment below to join the conversation.